Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on Metallurgy in Ancient India under the course name Indian Knowledge System. Myself Dr. Shrikavi, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Nehru Arts and Science College. Metallurgy is one of the earliest evidences discovered by human civilization to extract metals from their ores for manufacturing various items such as weapons, jewelries, ornaments, etc. So, India holds a strong tradition and knowledge of using various metals for manufacturing various items. So, this proves that India is holding a rich tradition of using those metals, which leads to technological advancements in using these metals. So, today we will be learning what are the different metals we ancient Indians used. So first, what are the objectives we are going to see today? So first, to define metallurgy. So metallurgy is nothing but the extractions of metals from their ores. Minerals. So minerals and ores both are not the same, they are different. So we will be able to distinguish between minerals, ores and gangue. Next, how the Indus Valley civilization, that is one of the oldest civilization of India, how these peoples use the various metals, for example, copper, bronze, iron, and zinc in their various daily day-to-day activities. Also, you will be seeing the development of copper and bronze metallurgy in ancient India and archaeological evidences of using those copper and bronze products by our Indians. Next, how India had a strong role in the production of zinc and brass. So, zinc and bronze production was particularly predominant at areas such as Zawar and Rajasthan. So, we'll be learning how they used those zinc and brass products. Finally, comes to the iron. So, how Indians used this iron and steel technology and they transported this iron and steel to various parts of the world. For example, wood steel. So, wood steel is one of the famous steel that is made of iron, and they transported this wood steel to different parts of the world. And also the iron pillar of Delhi, which is one of the famous examples of iron product that is still today existing. So, which proves that Indians have a very good craftsmanship of using these metals in various products. So, what is a metallurgy? Metallurgy is a branch of science that deals with the extractions of metals from their minerals or ores. Okay, that is called as metallurgy. And the extraction processes also should be profitable and it should be easier for the extraction of metals. So, what are minerals then? Metals can occur either in the free form, for example, as elements, or they will be combined with Earth's crust or seawater. But that is the few lesser form. The majority of form of this metals will be in the Earth's crust. Okay, so these are termed as a mineral. So, what are minerals? Minerals can occur either in the natural form or in a combined state with the Earth's crust. Now, so then what is the ore then? The minerals from which metals can be extracted economically and conveniently are called as the ores. Okay. So which means that uh, for example, if a mineral is there and you have to extract the metal from those minerals, then only we can call that particular mineral as an ore. Okay. So all ores are minerals, but not all minerals are ores. Yes, that is true. All ores are minerals. Why? Because if you are extracting metals from the minerals, they are called as ores. But that doesn't mean that all minerals could be ores. Not all minerals are capable of metal extractions. Okay, so not all minerals can be called as ores. So then what is a gangue or matrix? So there could be some of the impurities that can be associated with these ores while we are extracting the metals. Okay, so they are called as a gangue or matrix. How the people of ancient Indus Valley civilization used these metals. So as I told you, Indus Valley civilization is one of the oldest and ancient civilization that's located near the Indus Valley River, and the people who lived there are called as Harappans. So the Indus Valley civilization can also be called as a Harappan civilization. So this was one of the ancient civilization that spread across the India extensively. So these people had a good knowledge of using variety of minerals for a variety of purposes. So they had the knowledge of extracting these metals from the minerals for variety of purpose. So archaeological findings later shows that baked bricks were used in the construction work and pottery works. These people extensively used bricks for manufacturing various construction items and also for making the potteries. And one of the famous sites of the Indus Valley civilization is Harappan and Mohenjo-daro. So these two are the famous sites, and the archaeological findings during this Harappa and Mohenjo-daro lead to the discovery of various gold and silver jewelries also. And these gold and silver jewelries were continuously used by these Harappans, and they are not only the purest form of these silvers, but also they used the alloy forms also. And next, in ceramic or bronze pots, a variety of ornaments such as pendants, bangles, beads, rings, and various other jewelries have also been discovered. So these two are the sites that is called as Harappa and Mohenjo-daro of the Indus Valley civilizations. So the Harappan civilization, where the people used a variety of metals for manufacturing their products. So what is an Indian metallurgy? So the Indian metallurgy stretches more than 5,000 years ago, which was evidenced by various archaeological digs and literacy. So which is the first evidence of metal then? So the first evidence of metal was discovered in the Balochistan town of Megraha. So this town was at where first use of metals was discovered. The name of the metal is a copper, where they discovered a copper bead, which could be dated around 6000 BCE. By with the help of an radiocarbon dating, they discovered that this could be dated back to around 6000 BCE. And many archaeological excavations that was made during this Harappan Mohenjo-daro discovered that the Harappan metal smiths, they used copper ore from Aravalli Hills, Balochistan or beyond. So they extracted these metal ores, that is the copper ores, from mainly from the Aravalli Hills and Balochistan regions. And there are also other archaeological sites apart from this Harappan Mohenjo-daro, which could be Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, even in Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka. And these sites suggest a tradition of using metals by our Indus Valley civilization peoples for various uses. So, what are the different metals that the people of India, ancient India used? So, Harappans, as I told you, the oldest civilization peoples, they used metals like tin, arsenic, lead, antimony, etc., for their alloying purposes. And also they had a very good craftsmanship of perfecting the wax technique of metal casting. uh, During the third millennium BCE, they melted a variety of objects, variety of metals, for example lead, silver, gold and copper, and used for various purposes. And also they discovered the hardness of copper for making artifacts by using tin and arsenic. So they combined this copper, they improved the copper hardness, and they mixed tin and arsenic along with this copper for making various artifacts. First, let us see copper. So, copper metallurgy in ancient India dates back to the Chalcolithic culture, which is in the subcontinent. And among that, copper and bronze were used for making various weapons, tools, and also certain cheaper ornaments. The archaeological digs at Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, and Kalibangan show a remarkable variety of copper products. So, different copper products were manufactured by these peoples, which includes flat axes, chisels, razors, fish hooks, arrowheads, thin sheets, bangles, and figurines. These are the different copper products which was discovered during the archaeological excavations in these areas. So where are these major copper resources lies in our India? So the main deposits of copper, lead, silver and zinc were in the Aravalli Hills. So Aravalli region is the place where enormous amount of copper, lead, silver and zinc deposits were found out. And the copper ores of this region and Harappa and Mohenjo-daro contains around 4% to 8% arsenic, which means the copper ores were found along with certain impurities of arsenic ranging from 4 to 8%. In Rajasthan, the copper mining areas are situated on the eastern areas of the Aravalli Hills, which extended up to Bharatpur, Alwar, and Khetri regions in the northeast to the south of Udaipur. And Khetri is one of the famous region for this copper artifacts. Next, copper smelting activity in Ahar, which was carried out during the Chalcolithic period, and more than 50 sites have been located. And among those 50 sites, some of these sites were located in Gilund, Meruli, Kumaria, and Kadakota. So these are some of the famous sites of the copper where these copper ores were situated. So, what are the different copper products that were excavated during this Harappan Mohenjo-daro diggings? It includes flat axes, chisels, razors, fish hooks, arrowheads, thin sheets, bangles, and figurines. And during the chemical analysis of the axe from the nail, it was discovered that this axe, which is made up of copper, but not a pure copper, a 94% pure copper, but some impurities such as 5% nickel, because this copper is combined with 5% nickel and this axe was manufactured. So some of the copper products of this Harappan civilizations include vessels and other products. So you can see in the picture, so this is one of the copper products that were excavated during the Harappan Mohenjo-daro civilizations. So next is a bronze. So bronze is actually an alloy of copper, and by the second millennium, this copper alloying practices had increased, and this bronze was used in the manufacturing of various products from Indus regions into the Gangetic Plain, southern India, and the Deccan. Okay, so bronze has become a famous material for manufacturing tools and weapons. Why? Because bronze has such a superior hardness, like compared to your copper, and the durability of those products were also very high. So the products which was manufactured from bronze had a good strength, and also the durable of the product was very much good, that it extended for more than so many periods without any corrosion. Okay, and this archaeological findings from the regions of this Chalcolithic cultures. What are the some regions of Chalcolithic cultures? It includes Ahabanas, Malwa, and Jovi cultures. We were able to isolate flat copper axes, bangles, and some of the utensils that were used for cooking. And the iconic South Indian bronze sculptures of the Pallava and Chola period. So Pallavas and Cholas were able to manufacture various idols, various sculptures, especially from those bronze alloys. Okay, and the quality of those bronze sculptures of Cholas were so good that it was so smooth and homogeneous alloy composition made up of similar type of alloy, and minute details were there in those sculptures. And these two are the bronze products. The first one is a dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro. This is one of the very famous bronze products that was excavated during the archaeological diggings at Harappan, Mohenjo-daro. And next one is the bronze Nadaraja. This is one of the famous ideal and statue of our South India. This is also manufactured from the bronze. Next is a zinc. So zinc findings were very popular in regions such as Rajasthan and Zawar. Zawar is one of the famous regions which is known for the zinc extraction. This is carried out around the 6th or 5th BCE. And among India's metallurgical achievements in this zinc, the distillation of zinc, which is the one of the unique and leading innovations that was especially made by our ancient Indian people, and still now this is one of the very unique discoveries. So various archaeological diggings at Craddock, Gurjar, and others identified extensive mining galleries, large heaps of furnace debris. So this furnace is the place where they melted this metals, and remnants of ceramic retorts, tires, and flux materials, attesting to industrial scale zinc production when it was carried out between the 10th and 14th century CE. So the majority of the zinc metal was used for making the alloy bronze in ancient India. So where are the sources of zinc that were situated in the Indian region? So Zawar is one of the oldest regions of zinc melting site. Where the Zawar is located, it is located in the Aravalli Hills of Rajasthan state. And in addition, some of the copper arrowheads also was discovered in the Mesolithic sites of Bagor that was situated in the Bilwara districts. In addition to Zawar, certain mine workings and a small retort heap 2 kilometers southeast of the village of Kaya was also discovered. This Kaya region provided the early evidence of zinc mining and smelting that was carried in this Kaya region, in addition to the famous Zawar regions. And largest zinc deposits has also been recently discovered at Agucha, which is located in the Bhilwara district. Next comes the brass. So brass is also an alloy of zinc, and this brass, one of the famous example of the brass item is the Birmount vase that was discovered in the Taxila. So this Birmount vase was constructed of 34.34% zinc, 4% tin, and a small amount of lead, and also iron, which is 1.7%, and nickel 0.4%. So basically, this vase was constructed by combining different alloys and metals. And from the northern black polished, where another piece of brass was discovered at the region Senowar. This was situated in the Ganga Valley, and this was made up of 35.5% zinc, and it has high amount of copper, that is 64.32 percentage. And also several brass coins were also discovered with punch marks between the 2nd century and the 4th century AD. Next is the iron. So, Indians showed great innovations in these iron technology. So, recent excavations that was carried out in the Ganges Valley and the Vindhya Hills at Malhar, Dadpur, Rajanalka, Tilla, and Adranjkera between 1500 and 1000 BCE have shown the use of iron smelting by the ancient peoples. So, when they carried out the radiocarbon dating of these iron metals from Uttar Pradesh, it showed that it dates back to 1800 and 1000 BCE, and the various metals of this radiocarbon dating included iron furnaces, artifacts, tires, and layers of slag. So these materials were subjected to radiocarbon dating, and after that it was discovered that it dates back to very old period from 1800 to 1000 BCE, and the Azur Munda and Agaria tribes of India. So these Agaria tribes were one of the oldest tribes, and these people were the main tribes who were involved in the manufacturing of various iron products. So where these iron ores or iron minerals are found out means it is located in the regions of various states of Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Eastern Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and also Odisha. And radiocarbon dating of charcoal from the, especially from these northern east regions, showed the evidence of this iron smelting in the Khasi Hills. And also, other than Khasi Hills, Meghalaya is also one of the oldest source of iron smelting site that is situated in the northeastern India. Next, Indian steel is one of the famous example of an Indian that's manufactured from this iron, and it is one of the major innovation in the production of advanced quality steel. We were one of the famous innovator in producing this quality steel from iron, and our steel, that is the Indian steel, is called as a wonder material of the Orient. We transported our Indian steel to various parts of the Indian steel to various parts of the world, and among that wood steel is one of the famous steel that primarily iron, which contains high proportion of carbon from 1 to 1.9 percentage. And this Indian wood steel was exported to Europe, China, and the Arab world, and it became prominent in the Middle East. So, in the other parts of the region in the Middle East, it was named as the Damascus steel. In India, we call it as an Indian or a wood steel, but when it goes to the Middle East part of the region, this Indian steel is also called as a Damascus steel. Next comes one of the very famous example of iron, that is iron pillar, which is located at Delhi. So this iron pillar is composed of 0.15% carbon, 0.05% manganese, 0.25% phosphorus, 0.05% nickel, 0.03% copper, and other small metals also. So till now there is not even a single corrosion. Okay, so which proved how high quality of our iron products that has been manufactured. Okay, because this iron pillar has been exposed to the atmosphere for nearly 1600 years, but still there is not even a single sign of corrosion that's indicates the purity of the metals we used. Okay, and rapid industrialization, and also now the increase in traffic and the pollution in Delhi. You know, Delhi is one of the highly polluted cities in air pollution. So, and also due to the sulfurous gases that is present in the atmosphere now, this iron steel is weakening. It is weakening and it is started to corrode the matrix of the pillar. Okay. But till then, this is one of the purest metals, one of the purest example of the iron manufacturing. Okay. Next, some sources of iron materials also include one of the famous temple is the Mookambika temple that is located in Kodacheri Hills near Bangalore. This is also one of the famous examples of iron steel. And the iron beams that is lying in the Surya temple at Konark are also one of the famous example. And the non-corroding beams that is located in Orissa. So these peoples used iron beams for the constructions of temples in Orissa that is date back to the 6th and 13th century CE. So next comes summary. So what we have learned, so we have learned that metallurgy is the extractions of it is a science that is deals with the extraction processing of metals from their ores. And what is an ore? So when we can able to extract metals from the minerals, we call those minerals as ores. So all minerals can be ores, but not also all ores could be minerals. Okay. And we ancient India possesses one of the oldest and continuous metallurgical traditions dating back to 5,000 years. And also various archaeological diggings at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro regions of the Indus Valley civilization revealed extensive use of various metals such as copper, bronze, gold, silver for manufacturing tools, ornaments, weapons, jewelries, and certain other objects. And also the among that iron in India was very famous in making these iron steel products, and wood steel is one of the famous steel, and we import these wood steel to other parts of the world also. And the Delhi iron pillar is one of the famous example of the iron products. And also we Indians also excelled in making various copper products, and these metals were extensively found near the Aravalli regions. And various alloys of copper also include bronze. The famous example of bronze products could be the Mohenjo-daro dancing girl, and also the famous South Indian Nadaraja statue, that is also one of the famous example of a bronze product. And various brass objects were also discovered along the regions of the Harappan civilizations. So all these discoveries prove that we Indians have an extensive knowledge, have an extensive craftsmanship of making high quality materials from these metal items. And we also have a good knowledge of extracting these metals from the minerals. And and we are using these metals for manufacturing very good products which is of good quality, and till those the quality of the product is maintained. So coming to MCQs. So first question is, metallurgy is defined as a science dealing with either formation of rocks, extractions of metals profitably from ores, study of minerals only, classification of elements. So the correct answer is B. As I told you already, metallurgy is defined as the extractions of metals from ores, and that too the extraction techniques could be convenient and it should be profitable. Next, which alloy was commonly used by the Harappan? So Harappan civilization to improve the hardness of the copper. The correct answer is C, copper. As I told you, copper can improve the hardness of the materials, and the people have mixed copper along with the other metals such as tin and arsenic to a minor extent. Next question. The earliest large-scale production of metallic zinc in the world was carried out at Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Zawar, Taxila. So the correct answer is Zawar. So Zawar is one of the famous place where zinc metallurgy was extensively carried out. Next question. Wood steel produced in ancient India became famous in the Middle East as cast iron, pig iron, stainless steel, Damascus steel. Answer D, Damascus steel. So in India, we call it as a wood steel, but this wood steel have been transported to other parts of the Middle East region also, where they named this wood steel as Damascus steel. Next question. The corrosion resistance of the iron pillar of Delhi is mainly attributed to high nickel content, use of stainless steel, purity and composition of wrought iron, continuous polishing. And the correct answer is answer C, purity and composition of wrought iron. So the purity of the iron in the iron pillar of Delhi is very good, so that it became the corrosion resistance for so many years. Next, the archaeological site associated with early evidence of copper metallurgy dating to around 6000 BCE is Mehrgarh, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Lothal. The correct answer is C. Mehrgarh. So Mehrgarh is one of the famous site that is known for the copper metallurgy. If you want to learn more about the ancient metallurgy of India, you can refer these references. So these references provide more information about various metals that was used by our Indus Valley peoples. Thank you.